Smash is to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 149 of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is Scholar Tarek.
Hello everyone, welcome to Life in the Fastlane. I remember last time we did a Fastlane prediction show, I sang that song. I'm not doing it this time.
Okay.
I'm like,
thanks for that.
No singing.
Isn't that right, Scholar Brian?
Pretty much. It's time to go. It's time to enter the Fastlane, the pay-per-view yearly that makes me go meh.
Things that make you go,
It's a historical pay-per-view that most of the time doesn't really matter.
Well,
and and Raw has afforded me the opportunity to not care about this.
But Brian, this is the final pay-per-view before Wrestlemania, where everything on Raw is set up.
Well,
all matches will be confirmed after this event,
and I still will not give a shit.
Well, let's break it down. We'll break down the entire Fastlane card for this weekend. But before we get to all that, let's check in on a little bit of Backstage news.
Yes. Curtains. Let's check behind them. Check in on a little
Backstage news. Man.
Okay, Turd Ferguson, thank you very much. Alright, so let's get right to it. One of the biggest news bits of this week, Beth Phoenix is going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
This kind of came out of nowhere. Like, no one was talking about it. No one had even thought about it. Probably not the first name on the list that you would think of, but when you think about it and you look back, it does make sense.
It does, considering how many big names are already in the Hall of Fame from that era. The Trishas, the Litas, all of them.
Yeah, when you think about it, when it was first announced, it was kind of like a moment. Like, you didn't expect it. No one had been talking about it. Like, normally you get some kind of clue.
Actually, that's kind of what I like about it. I like that this one was kind of
It was a surprise.
It was, exactly. Yeah. It was the surprise that came out of nowhere. And with the video package of her career, it does make sense that she does belong to be there.
And when you think... Exactly. It's like... when they first announced it, like 10 o'clock in the morning, USA Today announces it, you see it on the Twitter, you're like, what? Where did this come from?
Okay.
Really? Okay. And then then you see the video package, and it's like, you know what? That actually does make sense.
And it's really upsetting that there are some people that were, I guess the best term to put it is bitching about Beth Phoenix going in, like everyone's saying, oh, you let Beth Phoenix in before China and all that. And it's like, guys, come on. It's not... China will most likely at some point go into the Hall of Fame. But now's not the time, especially considering that the circumstances that led to her death. And really looking at it, Beth Phoenix definitely deserves to be in this Hall of Fame. And the fact that they let her in now, good. Let her have her moment. Don't take it away complaining that someone else deserves to be in it.
Let's face it, okay? Some people bitch just to bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You've got some people in that Hall of Fame where bitching makes sense. Coco Beware. Anybody. That's it, but it's
That's
like...
going to be brought up every single year until the end of time.
But you cannot deny the fact that Beth Phoenix has the credentials. It helps that her husband is Edge, and he's in the Hall of Fame. It helps, but it's also she has the credentials on her own to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, China deserves to be there, but as Tarek said, okay, the circumstances behind her death. For me, okay, there are certain things that should make it harder for you to get into the Hall of Fame. Okay, and I've never felt sympathy for people who OD and lose their life that way. I understand she was going through problems. We've spoken about this at length, but it's like these people who are bitching. Okay, it's a fake Hall of Fame. Okay, it's not that big of a deal, and China's been blacklisted from the company for so long that did you really think that was good? That when you have someone like Beth Phoenix who has the credentials to get in right now, yes, someone you're not really thinking about getting in, but when it makes sense. But and then you hear the people bitching about China. Yeah, she's been blacklisted from the company for so long. It would be weird if and you would know that it was only because of her death that they put her in this year. And I don't think that's the way to go.
No, not at all.
Yeah, agreed. I think, again, certainly China from a professional standpoint during her tenure
definitely deserves
Hall of
to
Fame
be
worthy,
there.
no question.
Easy.
But at the same time, as far as female competitors are concerned, I think this is more just a matter of Beth Phoenix is on a list of many at this point.
Beth Phoenix, okay, was that generation's version of China. She was in a Royal Rumble, didn't she? Get into a Royal Rumble?
She took
Yeah,
out
she
Khali.
did.
Yeah, she got into a Royal Rumble. Okay, she was that big female presence that dominated during the time. She was the newer generation's China. Okay, yeah, she didn't get the male title opportunities that China did, but if you think about the Divas division, okay, she was that presence. The one where she'd step in the ring and all the face competitors would be like, "Oh shit." That's it.
At least as close as we came to in that era.
Exactly. So you see, I can see that being like, we're not going to give you China, but we're going to give you someone else who could legitimately
Kick your ass.
take that, who could legitimately take that spot. Like she was the PG version of China.
All right.
So it's like, so she goes into the Hall of Fame. We'll give you China next year.
All right.
When things cool down.
The whole thing is right now just not taking away Beth Phoenix spotlight that people are complaining about China, and I feel like now we're talking more about China. Back to Beth Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Beth Phoenix. I'm gonna call it right now. Natalia's the one entering her.
Oh yeah, easy.
I can see that.
Easy. They were tag team partners.
Yeah.
They were tag team partners.
Like people, I actually had an argument with someone saying who was going to induct her, and they said, they said Edge. And I'm like, no, it's not going to be Edge. It's going to be someone who she's had on-screen chemistry with for a good long while, and that's Natalya.
I can see either doing it, really.
Oh, I can see either of them doing it, but when it comes to the on-air video packaging and all that, and yeah, it's gonna be her bestie.
Yeah, it's
okay then.
It's standard practice for a women's wrestler to induct a women's wrestler. So, I do believe Natalya was closest to Beth Phoenix, storyline wise and backstage wise, in the company. So yeah, it makes sense to do that. When Christian gets in at some point, that's when Edge will come and induct somebody.
I can see that.
Okay, Edge isn't going to do it for Beth Phoenix. I agree with.
I'm gonna be that dick right now. Who are we kidding? The only time Christian's gonna get into the Hall of Fame is when they induct the tag team of Edge and Christian.
And it counts.
Coco beware. Coco beware.
And let's face it, okay? Whether you hate him or you like him, it counts. So that's.
But it's not the way you were putting it before.
All right.
Like I said, I'm going to be that dick. You're thinking of just singles Christian. No, it's going to be tag team Christian. That's
All
right.
right. Either way, congratulations to Beth Phoenix on your Hall of Fame entry.
Yes,
Just
congratulations.
to
See you at
spite you, it's
WrestleMania.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen as a singles wrestler, just so they can have Edge induct him.
All right.
I'm calling that shit.
In the
right
meantime, speaking of tag teams, no, not ass. Apparently, the former TNA, now Impact Wrestling, has lost one of its premier tag teams. The Hardys, the entire Broken Dynasty, are now officially gone from TNA.
And
the question now is, where do they go next?
They are confirmed as of today to be in talks with the WWE to bring the Broken Tag Team back for one last run. But this is actually, okay, this is actually a small part of a bigger story for TNA. They did not just lose the Hardy Boys.
No, they did not.
They lost Drew Galloway. They lost
Mia Yim.
the Hardy Boys. They lost,
Mia Yim.
otherwise known as Jade. They lost Mike Bennett and Maria. They've lost almost everything good.
And they lost Mia Yim.
Let it go, man.
Otherwise known.
I don't wanna.
Otherwise known as Jade.
You two are just going to go back and forth at this, are you?
Mia Yim.
Jade.
Okay, moving on.
That's the big story here. Where does TNA go from here? Okay, they lost everybody anybody who had a contract expiring is gone. Okay, the big story, the best wrestlers that they had are gone. They all left at the same time.
Yeah, according to one of the new head bookers now, which is apparently now Abyss, they're apparently redoing most of the roster, and they're rebuilding everything from the ground up.
But here's the problem: they were forced into doing that because of it was said by everybody who was going through contract negotiations that they didn't get contract offers until about a week and a half before their contracts expired. That's not how shit works. That's not how good business runs. Okay, remember, we were talking about how Impact Wrestling at some point could make a comeback with the Hardy Boys thing going. They're bringing Jeff Jarrett back. They're bringing back the people who made it good when it first started. And then you hear this shit come out about how they're running business and all that. The Hardys still have the tag team titles. Okay?
Oh, that's funny.
They're gone. They're not under contract. They still have the tag team titles. Technically, okay, TNA do not have their own tag team championships.
Well,
Okay?
Brian, you said that they're trying to get back the...
No, they're not anymore.
No,
That's
wait.
done.
I'm going back to what you just said like a minute ago about them trying to bring the talent that made them great in the first place. How can they do that when 2/3 of them are in WWE? Samoa Joe and AJ Styles.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
For some, I thought you were still talking from a very Hardy-centric...
Well, I
No,
mean,
I'm
like,
It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
At the beginning, okay, yeah, it was AJ Styles, it was Samoa Joe, it was Christopher Daniels. But, okay,
I still miss that guy.
you still had a good nucleus around that. Okay? They've now turned into Anthem is the name that bought out Dixie Carter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We found out that apparently they hold worse big business practices than Dixie Carter, and that's very hard to do. Okay, that is a low bar that is set, and they are failing. Okay, that's it.
And now they have Del Rio as their champion.
Yeah.
Dude, spoilers.
I don't give a shit. I really don't care.
It's Impact Wrestling. They're
Everybody
done
knows
now.
already.
They're done.
I
now.
didn't know.
Del Rio's their world champion.
We have a T-Rex.
It's nice. I like that. Was good.
All right.
But yes, the Hardy Boys are in talks as of today with the WWE to bring their new, because they can bring. They're not shackled. They have control over the broken gimmick, so they can bring it wherever they want. And they're in talks. They've already stated that they want to go to New Japan, so they're probably going to do that first.
Yeah,
I
actually read that. Yeah.
I read it too, or they could use that as a bargaining chip.
Well, I feel like they're
negotiations
only
with
going to do
WWE.
one set of shows because they've been going back and forth with the Young Bucks. So it's like, okay, we're going to do one set of shows. We're going to delete the Young Bucks, and then we're going to go to the WWE.
Yeah, I can sort of see them using that as sort of a bargaining chip. I can see them showing up at one of their major shows. Maybe I don't know when. I don't know the calendar for New Japan off the top of my head. But yeah, either way, I'm sure if they do end up doing that, they do like a one-off appearance for like, or maybe a small handful of appearances for New Japan. I can see them using that to sort of boost their credibility, boost their stock, and then bring that into their negotiations with WWE. And so they get the best deal.
And don't be surprised if any of those names that I mentioned that didn't re-sign with TNA, if you see them with the WWE sooner or later, because Drew Galloway did that thing where he got released. He redid his brand and came out all the better for it. So I would expect to see him back at some point. You get Mike Bennett and Maria are money. Okay, if you give them the right opportunities, they're straight money. And Jade, we can always use another person in that Raw Women's division. The SmackDown division is pretty set. We're good there. But you can always use more talent for the Raw side.
Or she'll just go into NXT for a while.
Mm-hmm. Either way, we'll see how that breaks down.
I can see a lot of people like, I'm just going to just spend a good time in NXT because of the big praise it gets before I go back to the main, or go to the main roster.
Just has Samoa Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked for me. Ding.
Bobby Roode.
Glorious.
All right. Now, before we get into the Fastlane, I do want to bring us up to speed as far as, speaking of New Japan, one sad little piece of business that just occurred, or I just caught wind of it just a few hours ago. If you know the name Tomoaki Honma, the very raspy voiced guy who never won in New Japan, who just did all those flying headbutts, the headbutt guy.
Yeah. What about him?
He apparently took a DDT in the ring, like, just recently, and at the time of this recording, he is really badly injured, and he cannot, supposedly according to reports, he cannot feel anything from the neck down. And is currently hospitalized.
Was it like a regular DDT, or was it one of those where they lifted him?
It was one of those sort of rope hanging DDTs that you always see Randy Orton do.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that.
It's so weird. Like the difference between like Randy Orton's rope DDT and New Japan's rope DDT. When Randy Orton does it, he does it to he knows how to protect the person who does it, or he's doing it too. In New Japan, they throw it on your head, man.
Yeah, but either way, not much is known yet. He's in the hospital. He was responsive, but again, this is still an ongoing story. So just if you can hear this,
thoughts and prayers go out to Headbutt Guy.
Thoughts and prayers go out to Hanma. Hopefully, we'll see you back soon in peak shape. But until that day comes, let's go into something good. Hopefully. Let's go into WWE Fastlane. Starting off with the kickoff show.
Here comes that optimism. It's gonna be good.
I was even about to ask: Is there even a kickoff show?
Yes.
There is a kickoff.
Cruiserweights.
That's on the kickoff?
Yes,
The
we've
kickoff.
got
the tag team.
the
Tag team.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa taking on the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar.
Okay. Okay, I remember. Yeah, I remember this announcement. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember this. You
Now that we're
guys
all-
scared me.
Now that we're all on the same page, gentlemen, who do you got?
I think it's pretty simple here. Okay, the Brian Kendrick's been getting the upper hand in his storyline with Tozawa the entire time, and it's time for Tozawa to take one back. Swan and Tozawa get the win on the kickoff show. Yay! Moving on.
Agreed. I'm really glad Akira Tozawa is on the main roster now, and I think this could be the next step for him.
I think he needs a new finishing move, though.
Mm-hmm.
The snap suplex is it gets the job done, but it's not not something like the crowd could get into, and it shows.
Yeah, that was again at this point.
I would blame just people's feelings on the cruiserweight division as a whole.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the finishing move. No one actually believes that it's a finishing move. Like they're always expecting that someone's gonna kick out of it because it's a snap suplex.
Yeah, when you're in the when you're in the same company as someone like Brock Lesnar and everyone else who uses it as sort of a transitory move in something a little. I think this audience expects something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But someone with his talent, I'm sure
I
something
blame
come
the
out.
audience, but the audience is what gets people title shots and that kind of deal. So if he wants to, we all know he's got the talent. We all know he's got the talent, but if he wants Vince McMahon to think him a viable option, I think he needs to change his finishing move.
Either way, fool.
Oh,
Gonna make a trifecta?
Swan, yeah, trifecta. Swan, Tozawa. Come on, really?
Hey,
Lesson the fourth: don't speak to me unless you're speaking in English. Okay, Brian Kendrick, here's a headbutt. That's it.
Oh dear.
That's it. Wow.
All right. Now, moving on to the show proper. Let's move on to our first women's match of the evening. We've got Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Gentlemen, what do you got?
This actually leads into my thoughts for the women's title match, which we'll talk about later. But Nia Jax, I'm picking Nia Jax to win this one, further deteriorating the mindset of Sasha Banks, leading into what I believe will happen during the women's title match.
Okay, fool.
I'm going with Nia Jax as well. Simply put, they're obviously hinting at a big fatal four-way for Mania with these four. It's like the battle of the Raw women's division. That's it.
And you need to keep the monster.
Yeah, you need to like when you think of Sasha Banks, you think, oh yeah, she's a multi-women's champion. So yeah, it makes sense for her to be there. Same thing with Charlotte and Bayley. But when you look at Nia Jax, who's still the newbie of the group, she needs momentum going into that. So, and with her being booked as this big monster, okay.
A big. You didn't want to finish that sentence.
I really didn't, because I really can't take Nia Jax seriously, especially with her entrance. Like it shows the Nia Jax theme song hits, and it's like extreme close up, to her face. And I'm just like, I can't take this seriously.
And then you hear, I'm not like most girls. And then you think, and then I just can't.
Well, in that case, when I hear
I
that
can't
theme
for
song,
other reasons than Nia Jax. I can't take it. Someone we know has ruined that theme for me.
Well, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But when I hear that theme song, it's like, I'm not like most girls. Yeah, I know. Vince McMahon told you to bulk up.
Oh dear.
You don't see him telling that to other women in the WWE.
No.
But that's just me being an ass. But yeah, as much as I still don't take Nia Jax seriously, she's gonna win. I mean, they're gonna have if they want us to take her seriously, which is a big deal for me, she has to win.
I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks.
Of course you are.
Because reasons.
Yes.
Because she's your boss.
Because Sasha Banks is to him what Becky Lynch is to me.
I will neither confirm or deny that statement. Anyway,
we've known it for years. You don't have to.
No. He was like, I will neither deny or confirm that statement, even though it's true.
You're welcome to believe what you want. Anyway, moving on.
Past episodes say otherwise.
Yeah,
we remember NXT, okay?
So do I.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
I watch it every Wednesday night. Whatever do you mean? The Club versus Enzo and Cass for the Raw Tag Titles. What do you got?
I don't think Enzo and Cass win it at this pay-per-view. I'm going the Club to retain with Enzo and Cass getting... Enzo is annoying as fuck right now. I swear to God, it's like they're trying to turn the crowd against him.
I still like Enzo and Cass.
Oh, I'm not
Cass
saying
for life.
I'm not saying
picking
I
Enzo
don't.
and Cass.
I'm not saying that I don't like them. I'm just saying Enzo has been annoying as hell last couple of weeks.
For me, when it comes to Enzo and Cass, it's not that Enzo is slow. It's kind of a mixed bag, really. Because when you look at it, ever since they came onto the main roster, they've lost their momentum.
Yeah.
They really lost their momentum because they've been thrown in bullshit storylines, hence Rusev and Lana, which apparently when you're in a feud with Rusev and Lana, it's a big risk. You're going to have to take Dolph Ziggler and Summer Rae.
Where is Summer Rae gone? That's what I want to know.
Who cares?
I care.
She went in that storyline and never came back. That's what happened.
But yeah,
she was with Emelina in the Phantom Zone.
When it's yeah, right. When it's coming to that point where they've even pointed out, it's like they never won the NXT tag titles. When they came up to the main roster, the main focus seems to be pushing Big Cass to the moon, even though really looking at it, they both need each other. It's like really hard to see Enzo without Cass and Cass without Enzo. Holy shit, I just came to realize they're today's ENC.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my God.
they are.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you
Welcome
this.
to the party,
I'll tell
pal.
you this. The only reason I would want to see Enzo and Cass win...
it's me. Come on.
The only reason I'd want to see Enzo and Cass win is to see our friend over at Hell in a Forum Weekly, JML, see him cry and drink his tears. That's it.
But yeah,
but I don't like the idea of a transitional champion. If you gave it to the Club, okay, have them run with it till WrestleMania where they lose to whoever, whether it be Enzo and Cass or anybody else. I think the time to have a big face take the titles is at a place like WrestleMania where you can have a WrestleMania moment, not at Fastlane. So I go with the Club.
Fool, bring us home. Break the tie.
I'll just go, you can tell with how they've been booking this, they don't even care what's going on with the tag team division. And that's on both Raw and SmackDown. Granted, they're doing more with American Alpha and the Usos, but it's still the fact where when you look at the tag team divisions as a whole, it's very shallow. So when looking back, and I think it's a lot worse on Raw, where you have your tag team champions basically get fed to Roman Reigns. The Club need this win. As much as I love Enzo and Cass, even though I will admit Enzo is starting to get that, they tweaked his character to be more annoying, and it's even the fans are starting to notice. And when you have the fans chanting "Thank you, Sheamus," for bro kicking Enzo, it's not a good sign. And I hope they get their WrestleMania, the big WrestleMania moment. But yeah, the Club need this win because not just only because they're to be transitional champions, but they need to build some kind of momentum being the tag team champs.
And I said that I would pick them once they proved that they could win on pay-per-view. So here I am. There you go, the club. You get one.
There you go. All right, next match on the card we have for the Cruiserweight Classic. For the Cruiserweight Championship, there we go. We've got the champion Neville going in defending against my boy Jack Gallagher.
Okay.
Gallagher.
Is this real? Does this really need a big debate?
Let's face it.
As much as I love Jack Gallagher,
this is really brought up Jack Gallagher in my eyes. But come on.
Oh,
I agree with him.
I love Jack Gallagher. I really do. Ever since I first saw him, I was like, this guy is awesome. You guys were first bragging about him. I'm like, I can't wait to see this guy in action. And then I see his promos. I'm like, holy shit. I love this guy. He is awesome. And his back and forth with Neville, especially when he invited him for biscuits and tea. I'm like, you know what? And basically the battle of the Brits. I love it. I'm loving every second of this. But
it's one of those, like, when Jack Gallagher won the number one contender spot, it's like, this could be interesting, but I don't really know at this point. But they have proven me wrong. But this is really an enhancement match for Neville to get him more over as the heel dominator of the Cruiserweight division. And as much as I would love to see Jack Gallagher as Cruiserweight champion, now is not the time. So Neville wins.
I don't know. I think there's a little doubt in my mind that's making me... I'm going to go follow my heart for this entire pay-per-view. I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to put my hopes on Jack Gallagher.
You're not just following your heart. You're following your optimist view.
Well, yeah, I am. Because, not for nothing, Jack Gallagher is one of the few breakout stars that they have in the Cruiserweight division right now.
That's why I don't think it's going to be a squash.
It's not going to be a squash.
I think that Gallagher's going to get...
He's going to get a close call. He will get close
really
calls.
Close. But I think he needs a little more time to season. Okay, and once again, okay, you just got Neville the Cruiserweight Championship. Okay?
This is his first title defense, isn't it?
This is his first title defense. If he
loses...
loses...
Did he defend 205 Live?
I think I'm pretty sure he defended it before.
I thought that Rich Swann got hurt. So Rich Swann got hurt, so they haven't had the title defense yet. They haven't had the rematch. They had that altercation on Raw, and then he got hurt during that altercation on Raw.
Okay,
I don't know.
So I
can't remember. I'm going to have to go back.
But either way, it's his first or second title defense. He's held it for a month.
Okay, it's his first event, like pay-per-view event.
It's his first pay-per-view event title defense. Okay. And you've been building him up as the heel dominator of this division. Okay, it's not time to end that yet by switching the title. I love Gallagher, but as much as I would like to go with my heart, like Scholar Jeff is, I got to go with my brain on this one, and it's not a smart move.
I'm gonna throw a Scholar's quick talk on this one before we move on to the next match. Am I the only one who actually does not like the fact that they added the red underline of the WWE logo of the Cruiserweight Championship?
Yes.
I never really gave it much thought.
I just looked at it and I'm just like, it's just, like you see this big, like you see this nice looking thing and you just see that one big annoying spot right in the middle of it.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it. And I'm just like, you know what? They should have just kept it all silver. I actually thought it looked nice. Seeing the red there is just a small dash of red. Kind of just...
It does make you see why.
Yes.
It's just like, what's the point of this?
Yes.
Don't you dare go Daniel Bryan on me. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
All right, moving on.
Okay. I want to see how long I can go over that.
I created a monster.
Well,
Yes,
you're the face Daniel Bryan. I'm the heel Daniel Bryan.
But you're Daniel Bryan all the same.
Yeah, I like the heel Daniel Bryan better.
Hey, it's progress. Anyway, moving on to in all seriousness here. Next match we have Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe.
Another one.
This one's easy. Okay, Sami Zayn is that dude who, when you bring in bigger guys to make them look like $1 million, you bring in the selling machine known as Sami Zayn, the master of the jelly-legged fall. Okay, that's it. But it's Sami Zayn is that dude. Is the new school Daniel Bryan, the dude who puts up a fights to the death, but just can't pull it out until he does later on in the future. He will be champion one day, but But Samoa Joe, you just brought him in. Okay, you've been He beat Roman Reigns in his first match on Raw. He's not losing to Sami Zayn.
I got my own big. If you guys saw my Twitter response to Cesaro Samoa Joe match, you can see I both like that match and I hate that match.
Because anything that involves Cesaro losing gets on Dark's goat.
I actually do. Every time Cesaro is in like that big, what's the word?
He gets hurt? I remember.
He gets that little tweak, either in his shoulder, his knee, his elbow. He has to come in and be like, oh, he has that injury. But there's also the bright side, saying he got his leg tweaked, so he's obviously not 100%, so he's not fighting Joe 100%. That's why he lost. But it's still the fact, can we just get him wrestling without him, quote, quote, injuring himself in the match?
Stop crutching Cesaro. It's like they're giving him a crutch to explain his losses.
Yes.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay to lose. It's okay to lose straight up to a guy like Samoa Joe.
Because I think that took away. It was only one segue, right? It was only one segment.
Yeah.
It didn't go to that match. Should have gotten a commercial break. That match should have gone on way longer, and knowing that these two actually had a history in the past in other
when they announced it, people got excited.
Exactly.
Because they saw.
I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want to see. I know Cesaro's going to lose, but I know this is going to be a great match. It's going to be 5 stars.
And then he tweaks. And then he tweaks his knee, and you're like, oh shit, here we go again. That's it. Or tweak. What did he tweak this time?
It was his knee.
Yeah,
he leaped over the ropes and landed on the apron, and he tweaked his knee. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then it killed the match for me.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay for Cesaro to lose clean without having the crutch of injury prone. Okay, that I feel like that's what they're trying to give his character, like an injury prone type deal. Like he loses his matches because he gets because he has a history of getting hurt. I feel like that's what they're doing with. I know that pisses him off, and it's frustrating.
Well, all that aside, we still have to go through Zayn versus Joe tonight. Who do you got?
Joe is gonna kill you. Joe is gonna. This is gonna be.
It's a showcase for Joe. And Sami Zayn is there to make him look like $1 million.
Yeah,
in defeat.
As much as I like Sami Zayn, I hope Samoa Joe eats him.
Yes, I want to see the Jelly Legs Master at least once or twice. Gets kicked in the face and then just loses all control of his bodily functions. I love that selling. I love it.
I just hear whoop 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 every time. Whoop 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 whoop.
It looks like he's breaking his ankles every time when he's going down.
I feel like someone edit a Sami Zayn match with just a whole bunch of Looney Tunes sound effects. Can someone do that for me, please?
I can't believe this just popped into my head. Every time I'm now thinking of Sami Zayn and him just getting pwned by everyone, I just think of that Team 4-star Krillin count getting pwned. Just like Zayn pwned. Ding! Every time now.
Oh,
it's
dear.
like, oh no, Sami Zayn has become Krillin.
Yay, new gimmick. Here's a scholar's...
You honestly can't deny that.
Here's a scholar's quick talk. Who do people like more, Krillin or Sami Zayn?
Wow. That's not a very quick
That's
talk.
not quick
yes
talk.
or
That's
no?
a figure.
Yes or no question?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Sure.
All right.
Krillin. I don't know. I say Krillin.
Just because he said Krillin, I'll go Sami Zayn.
I say yes. Anyway, moving on. Next match. For the Raw Women's Championship, we've got Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. Who do you got?
It's another easy one.
Sasha turns on Bayley.
It's another easy one.
Sasha turns on Bayley. Charlotte keeps her pay-per-view streak going. Hey, 5-time champion. Boo.
Charlotte is not losing her first singles match because they're going to push that one to the moon that she hasn't lost a singles women's championship match
on
pay-per-view. But yeah, she's keeping that undefeated streak going. She's going 17.
But they're going to keep this is they've been this whole Sasha and Bayley thing, like Sasha's been going hard on the praise for Bayley. Like, you deserve this. And you just know in the back of my head I've just been like, and every time she says that, and I'm gonna destroy you at Fastlane. That it's the perfect time. If you're setting up a fatal 4-way, and Sasha Banks has needed a heel turn for a long time now. For me, she's gotten stale as a face. She was always a better heel in NXT to begin with. Okay, get her back to her roots, and the best way to do that is to turn on her best friend and cost her the championship.
Hey, she's a bitch in real life. Why not make her a bitch on TV?
Yeah,
I'm all for that.
So, and it gives Bayley, air quotes, sympathy going into WrestleMania, where I think she'll get her WrestleMania moment.
I agree. However, for this weekend, I'm going
your optimist view.
Yeah, for following my optimist view, I'm going to have to go with Charlotte Flair.
Woo! Woo! He went straight neutral on that one.
Hey,
never doubt Charlotte.
As much as I hate to admit it, you know what? With the way history has been,
you bet against Charlotte, you will lose.
Always pick Charlotte. It's the difference between the club and Charlotte.
Unless Asuka suddenly shows up on the main roster.
Never pick the club. Always pick Charlotte.
I only made that mistake once.
Once.
Never again. Never again.
All right, moving on to our next match for the evening. We've got Roman Reigns versus our boy Braun Strowman.
So the Undertaker comes out. Okay, costs Roman Reigns the match, setting up their WrestleMania match to get Roman Reigns back for eliminating the Undertaker at the Royal Rumble, and Braun Strowman picks up the win, sending him into pure monster mode because he just beat the guy. That's it. Braun Strowman gets Spotlight one more time.
Yeah, I gotta join in the feel good moment here. We gotta go with our boy Braun Strowman. See, this is where reality meets optimism is just a plain beautiful thing.
Yes.
Fool. Do you concur, fool?
You guys are gonna hate me so much.
He's picking Roman, you bitch.
You have a different opinion, for shame.
I look at this and it's the Braun versus the ooh, and
we're gonna see both of them.
Yeah, we're gonna see both. But as much I want to pick Braun. My heart is telling me to pick Braun. It'll probably end in a disqualification, but to keep both guys okay. That's probably gonna happen because that's raw logic. That happens on Raw most of the time.
That's why I'm saying the.
But there's going to be a decisive winner here, and I'm picking Roman Reigns just because it's Roman Reigns. It's Vince McMahon's love child right now, and him overcoming the odds. The man does not see that the people are just tired of him. Braun is the real deal going on. He's getting, well, depends on the crowd really. He's getting the real crowd response, but it's Roman is Vince's child, and it's only because of that. I want to pick Braun so bad. I really do.
That's why I put in the caveat. They're gonna protect Roman by having the Undertaker come. By having the Undertaker, I don't see him showing up, but I can see him play mind games.
I don't even see that. I see him showing up after Raw and pretty much pulling a Triple H and him just them looking at the WrestleMania sign, something to that extent that fits Roman Reigns. I just do. I want. This is so frustrating. It's only because it's Roman Reigns. It hurts me saying that.
I'm feeling the optimism coming over
it's
to
spreading.
Me, and it's coming all the way over here, and you left him with none.
All right. Well,
you guys have the optimism. You're following your hearts on this one, but I'm just trying to think. It's Roman always wins because Vince is in love with Roman.
I'm not following my heart on this one.
Yes,
I'm following what would be good storytelling.
Yeah, I'm honestly with him right now. I can see a way in which everyone can come out looking strong, but our boy Braun can still come out on top.
If anything, I could see them to keep both guys safe. I can see it ending in like a double DQ because they don't even have any stipulations. It's just a match. It'll probably even end on a 10 count, and it'll just end the no contest because these guys are just big behemoths.
Yeah, also feasible. Also feasible.
That's the most feasible thing. But I'm not just gonna be like I'm not gonna choose a winner here. I'm gonna choose a winner, and it has to be Vince's dog. And that's just being nice.
Vince's big dog.
Vince's
bully dad.
Vince's big bitch. Bully dad.
Oh snap!
I said I was trying to be nice, but you egged me to do it.
Okay. Let's see how far this optimism and all of this is actually going. It's the main event.
It has left me. It has left me completely.
It's the main event. We're looking at Kevin Owens versus Goldberg for the Universal title. Gentlemen, how does this go?
Okay, there are two options here for the way this goes that I can see, and it would work. Whatever, keep Kevin Owens strong and all that. If Goldberg is to win, which I'm picking Goldberg because let's face it, the money match for WrestleMania is Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, and Vince McMahon seems to think that match needs the Universal title when it doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't just the two men themselves. It was shown at the Survivor Series that it was the main event. It had no titles. Okay, and people tuned in because it was Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. But I feel like the Goldberg winning, the problem with Goldberg winning is that he squashed the fuck out of Brock Lesnar twice. Okay, this is Brock Lesnar we're talking about. Okay, now we're talking about Kevin Owens. Okay, I don't think Goldberg can go alone. So if Goldberg's gonna win, I think Jericho attacks Owens on the ramp before the match even starts. Like, takes him out, puts him in the Lion Tamer, not the fucking Walls of Jericho, puts him in the Lion Tamer, sends him into the ring, the bell rings, spear, jackhammer, bam, that's it. Because I don't think Goldberg can go for a long period of time. He went 2 minutes with Brock Lesnar and was gassed as fuck. So that's it.
All right.
So Or you go the opposite way and you have Brock Lesnar be dumb and cost Goldberg the championship.
All right. And you know what? It's for that exact reason that I'm going to go for Kevin Owens in this particular instance. Because it's not just for those reasons that you just described. I'm convinced that they're pairing Kevin Owens with Goldberg because Kevin Owens is extremely competent in the ring, and he can actually carry Goldberg regardless of what kind of shape he's actually in. He can keep him looking strong and keep him looking fresh. And I can see some sort of weaselly way that Brock Lesnar interferes in the match somehow, and then Kevin Owens just keeps hanging on, or Chris Jericho comes in, setting up for and interferes somehow, setting up for everyone's match at WrestleMania. Brock, Goldberg, and Kevin Owens and Jericho. One of the main reasons, however, that I do not see Goldberg walking away with the title is, given the previous history between Brock and Goldberg in terms of what kind of matches they've delivered in the past. Again, I've seen their first big encounter at WrestleMania 20. That stunk up the whole joint. There was the one big blemish on an otherwise good show, and I just don't see anybody in the back having that much confidence in Goldberg and Brock Lesnar in order to merit putting it on last. That's going to go to the workhorses. I can see them being a big attraction match for sure, but not the big match to close out the show. For those reasons and more, I'm picking Kevin Owens. Fool, time to break the deadlock.
It's actually funny because this one was the hardest match for me to decide.
It is,
and it still is, because you both have good arguments, and I'm not gonna lie. I think this one is gonna go longer than Goldberg Lesnar.
I would hope so, because the only way if Goldberg squashes Lesnar, okay, Lesnar is being booked as a higher caliber dude than Kevin Owens. Okay, so it's like if Goldberg squashed Lesnar, he should be able to squash Kevin Owens easily. So it's one of those. It's one of those. I really hope that it doesn't happen the way I think it's going to happen. But that's what I think is going to happen. So I don't trust Vince McMahon, is what I'm saying.
That makes you smart. Fool. How does this go?
There's so many ways that this can go. With it could be just a normal There's not a real hard winner for either cases. Like if Kevin Owens just gets squashed out, it'll just make Kevin Owens look like just a fluke. It's like, oh yeah, thanks for being a good champion and making making Raw one of the only good things to watch, or make it one of the only good things to watch on Raw. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. Spear, jackhammer, game over. Yeah. That'll be even worse than The Rock beating Punk at Royal Rumble.
With a people's elbow.
With a people's elbow. At least they actually had a match. But I'm trying to think what would they would have to do to Goldberg for him to lose, and Brock Lesnar. Wait, let me. The only real way I can see this match actually going longer is if during Goldberg's entrance, while he's doing his coming into the arena, or coming in from the locker room, is while he's walking, he gets attacked by Samoa Joe. Since it's Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens being Triple H's new posse.
Has that been confirmed on screen yet?
I feel that Samoa Joe taking down Sami Zayn for Kevin Owens.
But was it for Kevin Owens, or did he just?
Yes. I know, or was it just to attack Sami Zayn? Yeah. I'm going to answer yes for both. Because the one sealing factor on it is after Triple H brought Samoa Joe in to take out Seth Rollins, you have Triple H talk to Kevin Owens backstage, and he turned on Chris Jericho. So I feel like this is just Triple H starting a new stable. So I feel like Samoa Joe completely destroys Brock Lesnar. Damn it. Destroys Goldberg.
Because we want to see it.
That would be great, too.
Joe versus Lesnar.
Yeah,
we want to see
right?
it so bad.
And then he'll just throw... he'll throw him into the ring, and you just see Kevin Owens coming in and just start trying to basically do his own moves. But then it will just end with Goldberg spearing Kevin Owens, and it's back to square one, making Kevin Owens look like shit. Similar to what happened with the Ascension at the Tag Team Turmoil. So, really looking hard on this one, and listening to what Jeff said, because WrestleMania 20 had that big shitstorm that is Goldberg Lesnar 1, and do they really trust to have Goldberg Brock Lesnar be for a title, and it'll be a long match? I really don't think so, and I see more. What's the word? Credibility, I guess, of Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho fighting at WrestleMania for title versus title, since they keep saying they're both double champions.
Here's
so when I'm trying to think what this one. I'll actually follow my heart on this one. I'm gonna choose Kevin Owens.
Here's also a thought. I can see Kevin Owens winning by DQ.
That could happen too.
Chris Jericho coming in, beating up Kevin Owens as payback, and then he comes out on Raw and is like, once again, the only reason you are champion is because I made it happen.
See, that's what's making me think there's so many different ways that it can go that way.
Like, you could have a long way of Kevin Owens beating down Goldberg, and Goldberg slowly starting to fight back. But as soon as you see that one moment where Kevin Owens might get that upper hand, boom, here comes Chris Jericho. And yeah, like you said, the reason you're champion is because of me.
What? No, I'm not gonna do it.
We made the rule. Your prediction stands.
I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna say Kevin Owens by DQ, but I was like, I already picked.
Hey, we could be wrong. Could be wrong. Anything can happen.
But hey, you said it best. It's Vince McMahon.
I don't trust Vince McMahon.
You don't trust Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon's.
That's why I picked Roman.
In Vince McMahon's mind, okay, I can see him thinking that Goldberg versus Lesnar goes on last at WrestleMania for the Universal title would be a good idea. That's it. I can see.
I can see that too. Honestly,
you know what? With how much they've been building the story, I could see it as well. I'm going to say that. But I feel like with what they've been building with this storyline with Lesnar and Goldberg, they really don't need the title. They honestly don't.
That's been my thought from the beginning. But you hear shit.
Oh, it's not just because before when we were saying that, it's just because of the name aspect. But now, really building on to the story that they have, where Goldberg is Brock Lesnar's. I don't want to say kryptonite because remember John Cena's the Superman. Brock Lesnar's Doomsday.
Fool. How about foil?
I'll go with foil.
Foil. Okay.
Tinfoil.
Tinfoil. Piece of crumb cake.
I still say the best storyline going for a main event of WrestleMania is Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. That SmackDown ending.
No doubt.
Was perfect.
God damn it! Do we have to have another number one contenders? Just make it a triple threat match for God's sake.
Well, hey,
no, because you need to have Styles versus McMahon, apparently. And that's where it's heading.
That's what, apparently, but you really don't.
No, that's where it's heading. That as soon as Shane McMahon came out, at the end of that Styles-Harper match, when Harper got his foot on the rope, I'm like, okay, the build begins. Here we go.
Hey, now we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
SmackDown was better this week. We can move on.
There you go. Either way, those are our predictions for Fastlane.
Yeah, it was.
Those are our predictions for Fastlane. Now we want to hear from you. Yes, we already know that SmackDown is the better show this week, but now we want to hear about what your predictions for Fastlane are. So leave us a comment in the comment section below. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Look for us on Facebook, The Scholars of Wrestling Show. Run a quick search. Real easy. And of course, if you want the latest in running wrestling commentary and our latest show uploads, you can follow us on Twitter. Our main page is ScholarsOW. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can find me at The Avataric.
Brian.
At Atomic Beanpole.
And you can follow me at I'm Robbie Rage, all one word. Follow us. Check in on us at during the Fastlane pay-per-view. We're going to be providing live tweets the entire night. Join the conversation. It's a lot of fun every single time.
Yay!
Bam. So, gentlemen, that's another episode in the books. We got Fastlane on deck. And the best of all, you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all at Fastlane.
I got no way to close this, so close.
Close.